one of my favorite misunderstandings or myths, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to writing, is that you've got to have that perfect setting, you've got to have that perfect situation. It reminds me of the movie Funny Farm. You've got this writer by the name of Andy Farmer who is supposed to write a novel, and he's already been paid by a house that hires people to write books, and he had to have the perfect desk, the perfect chair, the perfect paper, the perfect typewriter. And after he had all of the perfect setting, he sat there and he still couldn't figure out what to write. And I think that a writer sometimes has got to get rid of that. If you want to write, you got to start writing. You got to pick up a pen and a piece of paper, and it doesn't matter if it's a Homewood Suites little notepad or a napkin. If you've got an idea, and if it's in the middle of a conversation, if it's in the middle of flying in an airplane, you've got to write those things down, because if you don't write it down, more than likely you're going to lose that idea. I mean, a lot of times, I don't know, a lot of people can relate to this. You ever have a really, really good idea and you tell yourself, boy, this is so brilliant, so amazing, I'll never forget it. And all of a sudden something happens and you find yourself distracted, but then you want to recall that idea, you can't. It's gone because you didn't write it down. Because there was that thing that said, oh, this is so brilliant, so amazing, I'll never forget it. Well, then, what was that idea again? I have no, you're reaching out. Was it this? Was it this? Well, if you write it down, you've got it. And I think that writers need to write. And that's the brilliance of a magic notebook. And so I also think that sometimes when a writer it feels an inspiration to write, they don't necessarily need to have that direction. They don't need to say, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write, and this is the subject matter. Sometimes it's just going. I love the movie Finding Forrester. There's a scene in that movie where Sean Connery's character he's mentoring a young kid who is a brilliant writer, and he sits him in front of a typewriter and he says, now type. And the kid's like, well, what do you want me to type about? It doesn't matter, just start typing. Start typing what's in your mind, what's in your heart, and eventually that will gain some focus. And it was just a brilliant scene. And I think that sometimes writers just need to remember that very, very small but brilliant thing of writers write.
Thank you for listening. Please review our other available content for help writing, publishing, and marketing your book. If you have any questions about the Author Learning Center, please contact us by email at authorsupport@authorlearningcenter.com.